Now that my former teachers are all dead, I can say this to all of you. I hated school. I went to PS 188 on the Lower East Side of New York, where I came from. I was quiet and shy, and I was bullied by Jeffrey. Not only was I the smallest one in my class, my nails were different from everyone else's. They were different shapes, and they were colored like, a dark yellow and green and brown. It was probably from a vitamin deficiency I had in the war. I was born in Italy during World War II, and so these are my scars. You can't see all of the ugliness now, thank God, because I have nail polish, and sometimes I do other stuff to that. Anyway, so I had my nails, and I always walked around like this so nobody would see my nails. And my nose had a bump on it, and it was very long. The end kind of almost touched my lip. The thing I felt worst about, though, was being a Jewish refugee from Italy. Was there a more perfect target for a bully? That's why I hated school. One day, as I was walking home from school, minding my own business, I heard the squeaking of bicycle tires coming up slowly behind me. I knew it was Jeffrey because he was the only one in my class who rode his bicycle to school every day. He was huge, and now he was following me. My heart started to pound. Jeffrey's bike curved in front of me, blocking my path. He yelled, "Gloria, I know you're Jewish. You have a big, ugly nose with a hook in it. It's a Jewish nose. People like you should go back where they came from. You're not welcome in America." And then he spat on the sidewalk and started to get off his bike. Oh boy, I was so scared. I had to do something fast. I started to run, and I didn't stop until I got to my tenement building. He had lost interest, apparently, because he was nowhere in sight. How did he know my family was from Europe? How did he know I was a Jewish refugee? I caught my breath and started to drag myself up the 3 flights of stairs to our tiny flat. I could smell my mom's chicken noodle soup on the stove. She was standing there stirring it, humming. "Mom," I cried. "Mom, am I ugly? Do I have a Jewish nose? Is there a huge hook in it?" "Who said that?" "Jeffrey." "There's nothing wrong with your nose. Okay, maybe you have a tiny bump in it. But it's not that noticeable. Here, look at mine. That's a nose." Mom took off her glasses, and her nose looked like a whole continent stuck right in the middle of her face. I felt really sorry for her. But then I remembered that everywhere my mom and I went, like the Automat or Central Park or the movies, people would say to her, "Your little girl looks exactly like you." It's one face. Oy, I was doomed. Even worse than my mom's nose was my older brother Jack's. His looked like a beak on the biggest eagle you've ever seen. I figured if it wasn't for our noses, we would all look kind of nice, or at least we wouldn't bring attention to ourselves. But here I was, ugly and Jewish and a refugee. You know the math. That's 3 strikes against me. Oy. In my senior year of high school, I was in the principal's office a lot. Mr. Landman was very kind, and he was the father that I never knew. He was the one I leaned on emotionally to get through the days. I had to be in his office all the time. I was either crying because my mom was getting worse, she had a very serious heart condition, or I was sick and nauseous with my period, or I just needed his attention. One day, he called me into the office. That was weird. He said he knew that I wasn't on the list of the students who were going to the prom. He was right. No one had invited me. I wanted to die. I knew it was because of my big Jewish nose. He said, Gloria, I know this prom would mean a lot to you. I'm going to be there that night, and I would love for you to come and be my guest. I was over the moon. In all the years in school, that was the only time I felt pretty. The night of the prom, when Mr. Landman asked me to dance with him, I felt like Cinderella at the ball. All these years later, I can still remember that feeling of floating on a cloud. I had a secret crush on him for many years after that. When school was over, I had to go right to work because we had been on welfare, and my mom was very ashamed of that. She wanted to get us off of welfare. So college was not for me at that point. I went to work as a secretary so I could support my mom. I was still embarrassed about my looks, and I didn't date much. One day, my older brother Jack came home with a big smile on his face and said, Gloria, listen to this. I met this guy named Bob Schwartz today when I was peddling balloons on 48th Street. He's a plastic surgeon and he needs people to practice on, and he thinks I would be the perfect subject. And guess what? Well, he's technically not quite a doctor yet. He's in his last year of medical school. But he's a good guy, and he's going to do the surgery for free. I said, Jack, you don't just walk up to people on the street and offer them a nose job. Relax, Gloria, he says. I'm having the surgery, not you. You can't let him perform surgery on your nose. He's not even a doctor yet. You could die. Jack says, this guy knows what he's doing. Trust me. Oh, really? Well, what if he makes a mistake and chops your whole nose off? You might just be left with 2 holes in the middle of your face and not be able to breathe. Gloria, stop getting hysterical. I said everything will be fine. It didn't take much to make my brother lose his temper. So my brother goes through with the surgery, and when his bandages come off, I said, oh my God, you look just like Gregory Peck. He was gorgeous, much more attractive than me. Jack, I said, I have a question. Yes, you can have his number. I know you want a nose job. Within a month, I was on the operating table. I'm shaking with fear. A large needle is being jabbed into several places in my nostrils. It hurts like hell. Then they smash the big bone in my nose. It sounds like they're imploding the Empire State Building. I hate the crunching sounds and the smell of blood. Oy! My blood! Finally, they wheel me into the recovery room, thank God, where I go into a deep sleep for like 3 days. A week later, when the bandages come off of me and I meet my new nose, I like the way it makes me look. It's more like everyone else's. The bump is no longer there, and it doesn't turn down on the bottom. I'm an American now, and I fit in just like everyone else. No one will know I'm Jewish unless I tell them. Yet, something deep down inside is bothering me. Yes, I do like my new nose, but I miss Gloria. What happened to her? I can't find her anymore. When my nose is pretty much healed and I'm in a kabuki dance class one day, this girl in front of me is going like this. The movements are very sharp, almost like karate. And she goes like this, and her elbow goes right into the spot on my nose where the bump was taken off, and I feel a lot of pain. I clutch my face, and I run into the bathroom, and I look. Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's swelling up, and the bump is coming back. All that pain, all that surgery, just like that, gone is my perfect small nose that I was beginning to really like. You never know about life, do you? The bump is back. I thought I'd said goodbye to my Jewish nose forever, but that dang thing found its way back to me. I stare at my swollen nose in the bathroom mirror, and something strange is happening. I notice that I look like my old self again, with the nose I was given as a baby. The bump is a bit smaller than it used to be, no doubt about that, but it actually looks more natural now. I catch myself laughing. Maybe this jab in the nose was a blessing in disguise. Maybe I'm the person God always meant me to be. Maybe my nose and I are a team. Maybe I was meant to have a Jewish nose. It's nice to meet you again, Gloria.